Welcome to another edition of Monday Night in Muscle. I'm joined by my co-host, the voice of professional bodybuilding, Bob Ciccarello.
Yeah, buddy.
And we are zooming in live from New York City, Bob. We got Andre Ferguson, a three-time Arnold Classic champion winner.
My home state of New York. All the great champs come out of New York, brother.
Yeah, but it's like Rochester. Is Rochester even in New York? I mean, what is that? Do you claim Rochester where you're
Upstate
at?
New York. We're a little more sophisticated.
Now you qualify.
Yo, I got no comment on that one. I'm gonna let y'all argue that one out. I got no comment.
You're in the heart of it. You're in the Big Apple area, right?
It's considered upstate, man.
Ah,
Okay.
see? Even better. Nice.
Andre, where are you training out of? A lot of people want to know where you do the business.
South Shore Iron. It's in Patchogue. It's like South Shore.
Okay.
But it's like kind of deep. I want to say on the LIH, probably exit 63, 64.
Do you know anything what he's talking about right now?
Yeah, if you're from New York, you know these type of things,
I got to pull it up on Google Maps to figure it out. But nonetheless, I've seen you in victory and defeat.
We're halfway to the Hamptons from New York City.
There you go.
Well,
see, it's like the Catskills, like where Mike Tyson came out of, that type of thing.
You been to the Hamptons, Bob?
No, I've been to the Catskills.
Okay.
Of course.
Hey, Mike Tyson in the Catskills.
I blended right in. That's for Tyson. That's what I just said, right?
All right. Well, now we got George. George is up there in that area.
Ludicrous, man. Ludicrous. Yeah, it's called dunkery.
They got some hard knocks guys coming out of that area.
And we got one of them right here. This guy's a three-time Arnold winner.
I know, but we are waiting for you to arrive in the Olympia circle.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
we got a couple runner-ups.
Yes.
What's the problem? First of all,
all right. Yo, dude, honestly, I'm just not nailing it 100% on that day.
Okay.
I'm beating these guys in the same season they're winning the Olympians.
Right.
It's not like these guys are dominating me. If you look at the records, I'm actually dominating them. I'm just not winning at the O.
But are you coming in off at the O, or are they coming in better at the O?
I'm coming in off. These guys don't beat me when I'm on. Ask Bob.
Let's figure out why you're coming in off. Because sometimes for some guys, the Olympia weekend is bigger than their preparation. Is it nerves?
I don't want to say it's nerves, man. It's just like, at the end of the peak, man, the first time I got in 2018 when I was just like totally off, I was 7 days out of having a staph infection. I had surgery.
Okay.
Like I was under the knife 7 days before the Olympia. Wow. I should have really not even did the show, but whatever. That's
What'd you place?
Would you still take fifth?
Yo, I placed fifth.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not. How
about that? This guy's a week out of surgery, still in the top five.
Nothing to sneeze at. Unfortunately, as a competitor, you normally don't get the opportunity to tell the audience that, namely the commentators. We don't know what you're dealing with coming into the show.
The cool thing is after the surgery, he was even more cut. Hey-o. Thank you. I'm here all week, everybody.
Yeah, so after the surgery, did you run right into the Arnold Classic after that?
That year I won the Arnold again that year.
Yeah,
that was 2018. So 19, I won the Arnold 18, 19, and 20.
Okay, and so which one was easiest?
It's not a nerves thing because you're talking, and it's not a competition thing because the Arnold traditionally in March, obviously last year was a bust. And then the Olympia obviously is towards the end of the year, so it's not like you're running yourself ragged. Well, I mean, you're a young guy, you're in great shape all year, you're never out of shape.
We got to give it some perspective, okay? The Olympia is a big deal.
Well, and that's kind of where we're getting, right? So is it a mental thing? Is it the moment just too big? Is it one of those things?
No, we can't call it. So we just got to keep working, and just got to be undeniable that day on that show.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys, Bob, that have won the Arnold that never won the Olympia.
But look, right, guys. But look, I look at it like this, right? You remember Jay Cutler went on his Arnold run. He won 3 in a row.
Yes,
yeah.
And when he went on his Arnold run, he got second at the Olympia 4 years in a row.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Before he actually won it.
That's true.
I'm kind of right on schedule.
Well, he also had a guy named Ronnie Coleman in front of him.
But look, I know that. But look, that's the difference. He had Ronnie there. I'm actually beating these guys.
Yeah.
Well, you've had, 3 different champs in front of you, right?
Yeah, dude.
So in at various times, you've beaten all these guys, correct? At some point.
I've beaten all of them in the season they won the Olympia.
Now, take me back to this last Olympia, because this was definitely not something that was planned on your behalf.
No. Yo, dude, honestly, we just didn't nail the peak. I peaked before we got on stage. By the time I got on stage, it was too much water.
Right.
And I was just sweating it out, dude. So
you had to be burning up. Like usually I can see you guys depending on where you're standing on stage, and I happen to catch because you're opposite of me most of the time. and you did not look like you were in a good mood for some of that. You had that look on your face like, man.
I'm not the guy that's sweating. I'm usually not even the guy sweating on stage. Like, I was full blown sweating up there.
Wow, that's odd for you, as I've seen you compete a lot. So
yeah, so that one's just a scrap, bro. It is what it is.
Listen,
man,
Andre, are you in agreement with me that you win the Arnold Classic 3 times and then you get to Olympia and you kind of, I don't want to say that you even mess up because you are up against the best. This time you don't have an Arnold Classic to deal with in 2021. So this might be the year.
But I still got to go hit the Tampa Pro because I have to requalify the top 5. I wasn't even in the top 5 this year, but the last couple of years in men's physique, top 5 isn't auto-qualified anymore. It's only the winner.
Right. Which you're familiar with winning. I mean, that moment's not too big for you, is it? The Tampa Show.
Tampa?
Coming up in August.
I've won that twice already. I won it last year.
So let's go get it again and get qualified for the Olympia and run in there and take that damn
clearly,
thing.
I mean, he would obviously be the favorite going, and they're going to have to beat you, obviously, to get past that point. So on paper, you absolutely should win that show, get back to the Olympia, and then all well's in the world. Now, we had the current champ on just a few weeks back, Brendan Hendrickson, and he had all kinds of stories going on back and forth that I saw you were kind of chiming in. What do you follow any of this stuff? Like, do you know anything about this stuff, Andre?
This shit don't even be making sense.
It's gangster. It doesn't make sense. It's gangster.
Fill us in.
I thought it was if it went to court. Then you asked him if it was in court, and then he said it was in court. And then you said, wait, did you take him to court? And then he said, no, they're taking me to court.
Wow.
But I thought you got assaulted. How would they?
We got to get Judge Judy on this thing.
I'm telling you, this is like TMZ.
So what do you know about this thing? Like, what's your perspective on the whole? Do you know anything about it?
Bob, I think I can probably say you've been in an altercation or 2 in your life. Now, Bob.
Maybe.
No, not Bob. Not Bob.
Bob, if you,
the buffet.
all right, Bob, if me and you were playing chicken walking down the sidewalk and nobody wants to move, we're going to bump into each other at some point, right?
Sure, of course.
Now,
on the Olympia stage,
one of the parties will probably throw an elbow, right?
Okay.
We've seen that.
Right.
Okay, so is that really called assault?
No, not really.
Is that what we're talking about?
Is that it?
Yes.
Come on.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, he said he got and he's like, I got jumped. Like, who'd you get? Like, you got jumped, you got assaulted. I'm like, where's the story?
I thought that he said specifically.
Nah, bro.
I thought he said 2 weeks before the Olympia he was assaulted. Was this at a bodybuilding show?
2 days before the show.
It was an elbow.
Assaulted you 2 days before the show.
Okay, well, assault. You got to file charges with the police department. They got to investigate, and you got to
forget for elbow, Sean. Yo, Sean, they do that on stage.
Yeah,
that's like when Kai Green flipped the hair and elbowed Phil. Phil looking over like, yo, bro, I'm pressing charges. You just assaulted me.
Yeah, that's not. Listen, that's walking down the street in New York. You get assaulted 100 times going to the store.
That's why you wanted to get out the popcorn.
Come on, man. That's not. Listen, these guys got to bury that stuff and take it out on stage. But now, listen, I have seen you in many shows, and you guys now you go back. You've been around long enough. You were around like when Buendia was on stage and some of these other guys. The amount of smack talking that goes on.
Yeah, but what are you saying? I mean, what is the talk?
You got the guy to tell you here, right? You're right in the mix.
Dude, look. All right. Is it really any fun if everybody likes each other?
No.
Agree.
Okay. Yeah.
Like if we all singing listen, I ain't never been in any group of males where everybody gets along.
Right.
You're on the football team. There's people on the football team who don't like each other, Bob.
Right.
Bob, every training camp, people are fist fighting.
Yeah,
that's true. Too much testosterone.
It's just a normal. To me, dude, I just think it's a normal part of being a man. Like it's just normal. Like it's not. No one's getting killed out here, guys. It's little simple dumb shit. It's little simple dumb shit.
But I think where it's a little different for me to kind of understand it is we're talking board shorts. We're talking statue pose, front and back, and that's it.
But look. Yeah, there's really no, because you're saying where were you getting the time to even throw elbows?
Where do you get the time?
Yo, dude, in those back poses, it gets a little hairy out there.
Well, here's the funny part, right? I'm on stage as you have been many times, Sean, so you can actually hear what's going on. Now, we're the only ones that can hear it. The judges are too far away. The audience can't hear it. There's music going, but we can hear it, right? The best part of the whole thing to me, and I'd have to stop from not laughing because These guys are, they're all smiles, right? They're facing the audience, the judges, in the pose, smiles, all right? And then when they go, gentlemen, face the second they turn around, all you hear is all the garbage going right back and forth, right? Yeah, all back and forth. MF this, that, you ain't doing shit, right? And then the second they go, gentlemen, face the judge, it stops again and they all smile. It's like flipping a switch. It's hilarious for me to hear, and it sounds like some of you guys actually get a kick out of it sometimes, from what I can hear.
Yo, Bob, not for nothing. It's fun. It is fun.
Yeah.
Look, a lot of people take it so personal. Like they get like, yo, dude, it's not that big of a deal. It's really not, guys. It's really not.
But you got to remember, this is a sport of emotion for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Very sensitive athlete. Very sensitive. Listen, we were talking earlier about body dysmorphia and people coming from molestation situations and financial hardships and all these things. And it's a bundle of emotions. I've seen grown men cry, winning and losing. And so it's like the world, everything is there. The emotions, it's like a tinderbox waiting to, you say the wrong thing to the wrong guy. I'm waiting for fisticuffs. On that stage, it's going to not look very good.
Now, Andre, have you, please tell us if you've actually used that to your advantage before to maybe say a little something to somebody next to you, or
throw them off their game.
Maybe bring something up.
I don't think it actually gives an advantage. I think it's just fun. Because look, you got to remember, it's not like basketball or football where I can outwill you using shit talk. Like, I can't outwill you to beat you on stage. We're just judging bodies.
Right. Now, let's get to the actual judging of the bodies, because I got to be honest. Like, I have a bone to pick, not with you, because you don't do this, but I see pictures of, especially amateurs these days, and bro, their arms looks like they're on a Harley Davidson, like a chopper.
Yo, they call riding them. Yo, we call it riding the motor.
There it is, right? Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
Bro, what are these guys doing, though? Their arms it's not helping their physique.
You know what it is? I think they feel the back is more open from there.
Oh, God.
But I learned, but it's also like when you see people bending over too much towards the back in the back pose. But I learned from Jim Mannion, told me straight up that, yo, you are supposed to bend over a little bit, Drake, but you actually wash out the width of your back when you bend over more.
True.
He's like, so he's like, the reason why I'm not so far up with the hands is because, yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Yo, Tyler, Bill, Jim, yo, they've all told me about that shit.
Yeah.
Like, even when, and I'm not even nowhere near as high as those guys, and they've literally critiqued the shit out of my back pose. Well, yo, dude, your arms are too high, Yo, look, Bill ran up on me at dinner one day in Puerto Rico. We eating dinner, yo. Me and the homies is eating dinner.
You're talking about Bill Sibilia, head judge, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Bill walks in the restaurant, comes right over to my table. Drake, you gotta fix this damn back post. Get up, let me show you. Yo, dude, I'm eating dinner. Literally, I'm eating dinner in the restaurant. Now I'm standing up in the middle of the restaurant doing back poses in front of Bill.
Well, listen, anytime you can get advice from Jim Mannion, he's a good guy to get advice from, Sean.
Yeah, well, let me ask you this. Who are you looking at when you're on that stage? Because you've beaten them all. And, of course, when it comes to Olympia, you're losing to these guys.
I actually look at it, yo, if you look at it like this, right? I beat these guys when they're on. It's not like I beat them when they're off. They beat me when I'm off, not when I'm on. Mm-hmm. So in my eyes, this is just the way I feel about it. Like, how can I not feel that it's up to me? If I'm off, then you have an opportunity. If I'm on, I'm winning the shows.
Absolutely correct.
Well,
so the dominoes falling with me, but I have to be on. Like, it's still up to me to be on.
Does Andre Ferguson win the first show of the year every year, Sean? That answer when we're back after the break.
People always ask how I got here. I was willing to work just a little harder than everyone else. Every damn day. If I can have hundreds of hours back, you know I'm gonna grab them. Spending hours prepping chicken, rice, and vegetables, F that. I rely on perfect nutrition. I rely on Trifecta.
All right, we're back after the break. Sugar Sean Ray joining me here in the Muscle Studio. Mm-hmm. And we are here with Andre Ferguson, three-time Arnold Classic champion.
Yeah. Three of them.
But can he be the Olympia champion this year? That's the question, Andre. You always win the first show of the year. That's traditionally the Arnold, but for you, that's Tampa this year.
But the Olympia matters the most. So, yeah, I'm trying to get this requalification, and them Arnolds are cool, bro. And look, people try to downplay the Arnold wins like the Arnold title isn't a significant title. It's a very significant title.
Of course.
But in all reality, dude, to me now, yo, I don't care about winning Arnolds anymore. I don't get it twisted. I'm still going to do Arnolds because I love that show.
Sure.
Yeah.
But, yo, the Olympia is all on my mind, man, and I'm a fanatic right now. So
well, this year's a little bit different because, again, like Bob said, you have to win to get to the Olympia. Now, you're going to bypass whatever's coming between now and Tampa, but devil's advocate is if it doesn't work in Tampa, how many more opportunities do you have before October in the Olympia?
Like one, I'll probably have to fly out the country or some shit.
Yeah.
But look.
You're prepared for that?
I have the most wins in this division at 15. I win every year. Like, I'm not worried about winning a show. Like, if I'm going in a show and it ain't the guys that can actually beat me consistently sometimes, I'm not like, I should go into the show pretty confident.
Yeah.
Now, I got to ask you, Pittsburgh was just last month. Ray Edmonds was in there. He's won a whole bunch of times on his home turf. But he lost this year, didn't he?
He lost to the guy who's number 3 in the world, though. He didn't lose to the guy that's number 25 in the world.
That's right.
Well, it sounds like that division is, with every show, is getting more stacked. Like,
I'll say this, right? I want to say like the top six guys in the world, right? 7, 8 on some years. Yo, dude, being 5% off is the difference between 2nd and 8th place.
Oh, yeah. Agreed in any division.
It's that close.
Are any of these guys your friend? Do you run around with any of these
cool
guys?
with, yo, dude.
No. It's different being cool with someone, but are any of these guys your boys?
I talk to George every day, like 2 times a day.
Okay.
He damn near my therapist. Raymond's my dog. Like, it's Adventures of Luck and Mega. Like, Ray's my dog. And besides that, yo, there's some fringe guys on the outside and shit, but like, those is my homies. Like, the other people, we just cool with them. Like, there's a couple other dudes, but like, that's who I roll with.
So you're a fan of the sport as well as obviously one of the top competitors in the world. Who's a young guy that you see coming up that in the next few years you go, well, got to watch this guy. Like, he's probably, maybe this guy might be the next generation coming up. You see anybody like that?
I got 3 of them. I got Stephen Cow.
Yeah. Steven's very good.
I got Andre, the dude who got 5th this year.
You gotta like a guy named Andre, right? I mean, come on.
He got 5th. He got 5th this year. Yo, he's a young kid. He looks really good. Hani coaches him. He looks really good.
Right.
And the third person, he's on Dark Sport with me and Team Ventura, and that's Kaiki, man. Yo, I think Kaiki's a star. Like, I think he's a full-blown star.
No, I'm not familiar with him. Is he a new guy?
No, Kaiki's got about 5 wins already. He's the dude from Brazil.
Oh, from Brazil. Okay.
He's been in the top 10 the last 3 years.
Right. He
slid this year. He slid this year to like 8th, but last year I'm pretty sure he was in 6th.
Let me ask you from your own personal preference, who at this time, even though you're active, is the greatest, the best men's physique? It doesn't have to be an Olympian, but who?
It's Jeremy Buendia, bro.
Okay, based on victories.
No, that's an easy question. He dominated division in his era. He got 4 Olympia wins. It's not a question who's to go.
Now, is he coming back? I've heard smatterings.
But we hear those all the time. But like, we'll see when he does it.
Now, as we've seen divisions grow, all right, we've seen guys like Mark Anthony come in, who obviously has got a few Olympia credits to his name,
Olympia winner,
right?
He got one. He's got one. He won the first one.
That's all he won is the first one?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah,
he's actually moving into the men's classic physique this year.
That's right.
Jeremy took second the first year and then reeled off his 4 after.
That's right. But what we've seen in that time span is a division kind of grow where, like the original, like a Danny Hester, right, who's obviously a good friend of ours, won the first Classic Olympia, but then it almost seemed like overnight, like over the next 2-3 years,
it passed him.
Boom, it almost like passed that physique by. Where do you see that, like where you're at right now? Can a guy like Jeremy Buendia come back and still be in the mix, or is it passed him by?
We'd have to see it, dude. We'd have to see it because look, right? I want to say it like this. Because me and him got in a little issue on the internet because he thought like I was taking a shot at him when I wasn't, right? But I look at it like this, right, Bob? Yo, it's kind of disrespectful to the guys who've been sitting here putting down this pavement for the last 3-4 years that he hasn't been here. For him to think that he's just going to come off the couch and jump all the way back to the top.
Right.
It's like, what? We haven't been working? You actually haven't been working. We have been working. We've all got 4 or 5 years of development now.
But in his defense, you got to remember we are talking about one of the greats of all time, whose mentality like Phil Heath coming back a year ago, is I can beat these guys. I'm the best. I've got 4. Right?
Look, he was the best.
Works on
my
paper.
thing is this. Thing is this, right, with Jeremy. Yo, he preps hard. Yeah. Don't get it twisted. When it comes to those preps, he's a dog. He is. But guess what? He ain't the only dog out here. Mm-hmm. So what you're doing, we're doing too, but with 4 more years on you.
Well, and that's kind of why I asked, like, it's like if you go back 4 years ago, okay, and 5 years, whatever it was, right? And you look at a picture of his physique, and that what won the Olympia, right? With all due respect, does that physique compare to you or Brandon or Rayshad? Does that physique that was good enough to win the Olympia 5 years ago cut the mustard today?
None of them, but yo, his 2017 physique was kind of deadly. I can't front on that. When I got second that year, he came in just out muscled us.
And if
That's
I'm not,
how we won that year.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe he also tore a pec. So he's not coming
I didn't
back.
know that.
He's not picking up where he left off, and we know that's not an easy thing to do.
Sean, that's what I mean. Like he's not like it's not like he took 6 months off or even a year.
Yeah.
It's been 4 years. 2018 was the last time he stepped on stage.
But if he never competes again, in his mind, I believe he's going to think that I'm just as good as you guys are, or will ever be, because I've been there and I got these 4 trophies to prove it.
Well, that's
what I think.
I can tell you this.
But look,
producer
Michael Jordan isn't still as good as the guys competing.
But he thinks he is. Thinks he is.
No, he thinks he was. He thinks in his prime he would beat them.
Okay,
so Jeremy can roll with that all day and think that in his prime that he could beat us. Okay. Yes, he could roll with that. But bro, you're not gonna. It's like this. What? We can't get our little shine now?
Yeah, right.
Dude, you had the trophy for 4 years, bro. Like, yo, can somebody else rock the mic for a little bit?
Well, producer Nico has just informed me that Dennis James, our fellow podcast brother here at the Olympia Studios, has confirmed that Buendia has said he is coming back.
That's cool. Like, no. I'm not gonna say nothing negative.
Okay.
What I'm gonna say is, all the power to him, dude. All the power to him.
We already know it's an uphill battle, right? This kind of
all
time.
The power to him.
Well, let's get down to brass.
Listen, and look, the sport has evolved way beyond.
Right where I was going, Sean, right?
The
sports. Now, he's been off the stage for how many years now? 4 years?
3 years.
Okay.
4 years.
Be 4 years, right?
He's a father now, too.
Listen, nothing's a slam dunk, and I know where Andre's coming from to say, look, I welcome the competition. I give him all due respect. However, yes, things have changed, and guess what? You got almost 4 years away from the stage. Now he doesn't have to qualify. He's obviously a former Olympian, right? So he could just go into the Olympia.
Right.
I don't know if that's a good thing, though, because
Bob,
the amount of stress.
Why wouldn't he just go do another show first?
No, I'll tell you why you won't. I'll tell you why.
Well, yeah, here we go. Right?
Because listen, like yourself, when you win the Olympia, you don't have to do the other stuff. You're going to compete. You want to compete to win the Olympia.
But what I mean is this. Doesn't it gauge where you're at if you go cook the regular guys?
I agree with that.
However,
I agree.
Doesn't it make sense if he thinks, being a 4-time champion, I can already beat these guys? I don't need a warm up.
Well, I'm with Andre on this one. I'm with Andre, and let me tell you why.
Do you know Mark Anthony has done Olympias and been in like third call out for?
No, I know. Yeah, and that's
of course.
Listen,
do you want to be that person, Sean?
Right.
Well, here's the thing. Here's where I agree with you, Andre. I don't know if I would make the first show back. I don't care if I'm a former Olympian or not. I don't know about the stress level in terms of I've been away from the stage for almost 4 years. I'm coming back to the Olympia with guys I don't even know. Some of the guys he had never even competed against that's come up in the last, like some of the names you mentioned, right? And I'm going to, put myself back in the mix
on
the Olympia stage.
Well, let's compare it to some of the other great or not so great comebacks. I tried to have that same
we've
conversation.
had zero
I've had
good
that
comebacks.
conversation with Kevin Levrone. You heard of the Maryland Muscle Machine?
Yeah.
I've had that conversation with the great Flex Wheeler. You heard of him before. Even Lou Ferrigno, who took 17 years off and came back at the ripe old age of, I think, 42 years old
40, yes.
in Helsinki, Finland, and got 10th place. I think there's something to be said for having that resume and having been there and done that, and then starting back where you left off. If I'm going to come back as a 4-time champion like Jeremy, I'm coming back to the biggest stage where I left it all. I don't want to get blown out in Tampa, because then I'll never go back to the Olympia. If I get blown out, I get blown out on the stage with the best in the world.
But I feel like this. If you think you're that good, you shouldn't be getting blown out at Tampa. Then you should be winning that.
No, I think if you think you're that good, you get on stage with the best in the world, and that's my point.
Look, is it worth it for you to go in the third call out?
I want you to answer that question when Jeremy's standing next to you on stage.
No, but look. Wait, first of all,
what?
You got to be a first call out to stand next to me first.
Oh,
the gauntlet has been thrown down.
But hold up. But this is my thing about it, Sean. Right? Like this is this is honest. All kidding, all jokes aside, right? If you don't place well at the Olympia, if you just come back to the Olympia, isn't that burying yourself and you're done?
Well, it's over. It's a one and done. You're done.
Yeah.
See, but that's.
If I'm going to get buried, I don't want to get buried in Tampa. I want to get buried on the Olympia
stage. What I mean is this. He's not old, Sean.
No, you're not.
He can still build back to that.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have to try to jump right in the deep end.
True.
Look, it's okay to go win in the kiddie pool before you go win in the deep end. Like, when they teach you to swim, or even if they teach you to relearn how to swim, say you get paralyzed and they're reteaching you how to swim.
Right.
They're going to start you off in the shallow end.
That's true. But if you're a champion, a former champion, a 4-time champion, you probably think you need to pick up where you left off.
I get it.
I'm gonna say this.
Sean, I get it.
Traditionally speaking, and history-wise, there has been basically one successful comeback to the Olymp. No, he
never took time
I'm not
off.
talking about reclaiming the title. I'm talking about an actual comeback. Like there was time off, right? There's been one, and that was Juliette Bergman in the women's bodybuilding.
2001 Olympia.
2001 Olympia, right? She came back after 10 years off or whatever, and actually reclaimed the title. Yeah. Now, that happens.
Juliette Bergman, you probably got to Google her. Bodybuilder.
Google is your best friend.
From the Netherlands. And
that's happened
was a judge.
Once.
Yeah.
So just to give you some idea,
10 years, wow.
I could be wrong on that, but it was a long time. Like, she was gone for a while,
I could even say this, Sean, I would even give you this one. If he put 2 years of solid training in and then came right back to the Olympia.
Yeah, Andre, I think for a lot of guys making a comeback, and they make them for various reasons. He has a kid. I know he left California for Texas, and now I believe he's back up.
He's
in
been
Sacramento.
Domesticated, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So maybe while him getting domesticated, he needs this as part of his business to come back, launch himself, reinvent himself against the best.
I'm actually thinking on what's best for him, right? And I look at it like this, Sean. If you come back and don't do good at the Olympia, you're buried.
It's over.
You're done. You're put a nail in a coffin.
Right.
You can take another route, and you can still build yourself back up to that where you're still successful again.
But he could get buried in Tampa. He can get buried at any show for that matter. Why not be up there with the best?
No, look, you're right. He can. But I think if he puts solid training in for a year and some change, then yes. If he thinks 6 to 8 months of training is going to put him back in that spot, come on.
Well, you better hope he doesn't get called out with you in that first call out, because the elbows are going to be flying. I'm going to bring the popcorn.
Ready for him, man. Look, I'm always ready for him because I know they're coming, dude. It's part of the look, I don't even be mad at the elbows on stage. Yeah. I think it's fun. Like it's part of. I
think it'd be nice if we could get Jake Wood to mic you guys up like they do the NFL players. That'd be nice.
Oh, no, you couldn't do that.
Well,
no, you couldn't do that.
Crazy.
One guy you don't have to worry about is Brandon Hendrickson, because he only wins on even years.
Oh, you told him that he didn't like it.
No, he didn't like it, but it's a fact. Okay, so
he didn't like
Raymond snuck in there, so he only wins on even numbered years. So
who else is in this mix?
Well, listen, you got Raymond, right?
Look,
you got
you guys want to hear a crazy fact about the Olympia this year?
Sure.
Show day for men's physique is my birthday.
Hey,
yeah, I know.
Could be some good karma there, bro.
Remember, it used to be on my birthday.
Hey, listen, traditionally, didn't we have two? We had two other birthdays, I think, this last Olympia.
Had his birthday
on the date. I think it might have been. Was Missy one of them in fitness? I think it was her birthday.
Right, and Phil Heath.
And Phil?
My birthday, my whole career was like right in and around and on.
We just missed. Mine was December 1st. So
they moved it to December.
You're just past mine. But
so this could be big, big, big for you. However, you've got to qualify to get there. Otherwise, you'd be sitting next to me eating the popcorn, watching the show.
Yo, Shorty's not gonna let me ride on this.
Listen,
we're gonna get you qualified, son.
When we take a commercial break,
bro, you gotta requalify first. Right?
When we go to commercial break, Sean, I want you to text Jeremy. Okay. Tell him Andre just put a
all points bulletin.
All points been APB on your ass to get in Tampa. You got no business coming there.
Yeah, we're gonna make that call right after this commercial break. All right, we got our three-time Arnold Classic champion, Andre Ferguson, calling in from New York. And Andre, you said a whole lot, man. So now we got to back it up. The Olympia's going to come up sooner than we know. But
did
Tampa
you text Jeremy? Did you tell him that Andre put the challenge out to beat him?
Voicemail.
Come to Tampa first, big boy. You think you got what it takes?
We're going to bring Jeremy on the show hopefully before then and find out his side of the story.
Now that would be a good one, right? But hey, listen, great. It's good competition. It's great. I look forward to seeing you guys back on that stage talking smack, only from the rear, of course. I'm telling you, you can't beat that kind of stuff. There's two things that stand out to me. These guys, when they turn around to the back, it's like night and day. And like I say, the second they turn back around, the smile's back on the face. And the bikini chicks who walk 10 times slower backwards than they do forwards.
Or like Dexter Jackson walking on,
exactly
on
right.
the stage and then running off the stage.
That's what it reminds me of, right? Dexter. The slower, you could time him on a class. Like I swear there were times that Dexter.
He walks like that in real life.
Oh yeah. He's in no hurry to get anywhere. But I always wanted to bust his balls on, because you're supposed to get like a minute in prejudging, right? I always wanted to wait till he got to the center and then go time.
Well, listen. Speaking of time, you got a little bit more time before you get to Tampa. What's the date of the Tampa Pro Show?
August 7th, I'm pretty sure, guys.
All right, August 7th. We're going to be out there in Tampa, Florida, and watch you do what you do.
Yeah.
All right, Andre. Hey, thanks for calling in. We're going to follow you all the way to Tampa, Florida, and see you in Orlando, October 7th.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, buddy. Thanks for calling in.
Take care, buddy.
Well, Bob, there's a physique and a personality that clearly is one that deserves an Olympia title.
I tell you what, there is nobody more deserving than Andre. I mean, he has been right there for years. He's been a runner-up, three-time Arnold Classic champ, and he can talk with the best of them. When that smack talk gets going, he's right in the center of it.
Well, he's got the more pressure on him than anybody else, I think, in the entire men's physique department. Because one, he's talkative and got personality. Two, he's got a great physique and a great resume. And three, we expect him to win. Anything less, he's losing.
Well, this last Olympia was really odd. I mean, I was fully expecting, because, listen, this guy's been in the mix every year. He's been on the Olympia, and he was, by his own admission, way off the mark. Sweating, again, didn't quite catch it. I don't know if he had any differences in his protocol of prep.
Right.
But something clearly went haywire. It was the first time I've actually seen him not in the mix.
Well, you know what's interesting is the confidence that he displayed about going to Tampa, winning automatically, and qualifying to be in the Olympia, because that's what he does. But the lack of confidence that he has in somebody like Jeremy Buendia, who's won 4 times, not just the Olympia, but he's won throughout his whole career, and then coming off after this long layoff, not being able to stand next to them. Like, I think Jeremy has the same confidence that he has in terms of what he's capable of physically doing. Father Time's undefeated, but Jeremy's no old man.
No, he's not. He's still young in the sport. Jeremy never lacked in confidence. That's the one thing I can say. He was a great champion when it came just to the pure athleticism of being out there, being in the mix. He can mix him up with anybody.
Nice X factor to have.
So you don't ever want to write him off. And Andre is quick to give him his props. And he doesn't write him off. I mean, he's respectful, but he's also saying, hey, man, this is my time right now.
Yeah.
You had your time, now it's my time. And I can respect that any time from top competitors.
Yeah, and it's interesting because the guys that are doing the work don't want someone to, like you said, come in and take the shine.
Yeah.
I like that analogy about taking the shine. Jeremy would love nothing more than to come and wax the floor with all of them to show that he's still king of the hill.
I think listen, it makes for a great Olympia, right? We like seeing comebacks. We like seeing people. Again, traditionally, history is not on his side.
Right.
We have seen so few comebacks in this sport, Sean.
Especially after an injury.
Especially. And let me tell you, when you're only judging half a body, so to say, that's important. Like, you can't really hide that.
Yeah.
Like, it was always a point of contention. Listen, it's ended more careers than not that we know of. That we've had personal friends that, boom, they were done. The other ones who have kind of escaped with it, Kevin Levrone, the most famous, who got real lucky because the guy who perfected the surgery happened to live where he lived.
Right, it was really quick and
Like the surgery's like named after the guy.
he
like
wound up getting third place in the Olympia after he tore his pec.
And you could barely even notice it. But then you had like a Tony Freeman type of guy who was there and it was a little bit noticeable. Where it does detract from the physique, but especially in men's physique, when you don't really hit poses, it's about as, and again, I don't know what it looks like. I don't know. Hopefully it's not too much.
Listen, the men's physique division over the past 4 years has really changed more than any other division.
Well, like we said, with all due respect to our friend Danny Hester, Danny legitimately won that first classic Olympia. Looked fantastic, represented great. And overnight, literally in a year, it blew up where you had all these competitors that were taller, leaner, and now you went from a Danny Hester to a Chris Bumstead.
Yeah, and to your credit, like we had Raymond. Raymond's got to be well over 6 feet tall.
Oh, Raymond's 6'2".
Yeah, I mean,
and he's wide, like he's but listen. Those guys get beat just the same in body. But listen, they've been going. Him and Brandon Hendrickson have been going back and forth.
Yeah, it's hard to.
But it'd be interesting if Andre Ferguson were the breakthrough and win. We'd have 3 different winners in 3 different years.
Yeah, well, it'd be interesting because he's beaten all these guys. He would like nothing more than to beat all of them and Jeremy to really run the table and say, look, he's got 4 Olympia titles, but I'm the greatest because I beat them all. He's welcoming the comeback.
Huge feather in the cap. But I tell you what, I'm going to hope that Jeremy gets out there. I'm going to hope that Andre. I don't have any doubt that he'll probably win in Tampa. Hard pressed that he'll get beat there.
Yep.
Back to the Olympia stage. But I tell you what, it is rounding up to be one of the best lineups in that division in Olympia history.
Yeah, well, it's great listening to the men physique because they are as competitive as the big dogs competing for the big prize. So this is a division we want to keep our eye out for. And that's going to do it for another episode of Monday Night Muscle with the voice of professional bodybuilding, Bob Chick, and I'm Sean Ray. We'll see you next week.